Welcome to the Get Real Podcast, your high-octane boost of in the trenches, tell it like it is reality therapy for personal, business, and real estate investing success. With your hosts, powerpreneurs, Angela Thomas and Ron Phillips. It's time to get real.
Hi, welcome to the Get Real Podcast. This is Angela Thomas, and I am here with Ron Phillips.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, yeah. So we want to just start out by telling you guys a little bit about why we decided to start this show.
Yeah, because I've put off doing a podcast for a long time, Angela.
Yeah, I did too. I kind of thought it was never going to go anywhere, and I feel pretty stupid about that. So,
yeah, well,
who listens
here we are.
me?
We've had a whole bunch of people actually request more info on a consistent basis. It seems like a good medium to do it. So we've dived in.
We have dove in. I believe is the correct. Yeah. So yeah, we have decided to name it the Get Real Podcast because we think there's a little bit too much hype and hoopla. Is that a word? Hoopla?
It is a word.
I don't know. Okay. Out there about real estate investing and about success topics in general. And we just want to get real with you guys and real with ourselves and talk about, the good, bad, and ugly about real estate investing.
Yeah. And about business and about, success and life and all that good stuff, right? We want to cut through all of the crap and actually give you the real deal on how all of this stuff really works. Because the reality of the situation is there's a lot of people out there that are teaching real estate. And if you actually looked at their net numbers, well, they suck. They're horrible, right? But yet they're out there teaching it. There's also people out there teaching business, Angela, and they work like 100 hours a week, 120 hours a week. And I ask
myself,
who
wants that?
So the teacher who's teaching me how to be a successful business owner, teach me how to work 120 hours a week. I'm out on that. I don't want any part of that, right?
Maybe some people want to do that, but personally, we're all about passive investing, which means, money coming to you, whether you're, sleeping or golfing or at the office. And we believe a little bit of that in our business lives as well, right? We don't want to be working at night. We want to spend time with our families and doing what we enjoy. So it's all about being efficient and investing the right way and working the right way so that you have time to do the things you truly enjoy and that are truly important to you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Maybe we should introduce ourselves though, so people know who we are, right? Angela is, we're both really young. I mean, you can tell by my beard, those of you who can actually see this video. But man, I'm doing real estate for quite a while, Angela, a couple of decades. And we run a company that sells hundreds and hundreds of units a year, rental properties. But let's just tell everybody how we got in the business. Like, how did you get interested in real estate, Angela?
Yeah. So, mine goes way back. I actually, I grew up watching my mom kind of struggle to take care of me and my three siblings. And she actually started her own business, which was very successful. And that was quite the journey for her. But like we talked about earlier, it was a business that required her to work a ton of hours. Her and my dad both worked in the business for a long time. And it was just night and day. It was a 24-hour operation. It was actually a residential care home for Alzheimer's patients. So,
yeah.
And it did really, really well. And I actually grew up in that environment. We lived upstairs and all the residents were downstairs. So it was really cool to watch her start that and be successful in that. It allowed us to do a lot of fun things when I was a kid. But that ultimately isn't what she wanted for herself. It took up a lot of her time and she knew there was something better out there. So she started going to Rich Dad seminars and a few other real estate seminars out there. She read all his books, bought his course, and then decided to go out and try and do it. So she started investing in real estate probably, I don't know, 20 years ago. She started out with just a couple of rental properties in Utah, actually, and managed them herself. And I think it was 3 years ago, we actually helped her to sell those properties and then invest in a couple of fourplexes out in Missouri. And she tripled her cash flow and is now able to, that's all she does. She makes all of her money off her real estate investments and is able to spend a lot of time with us and with my dad. And it's completely changed her life. So I watched that, her journey to real estate investing my whole life. And it just really showed me the power of it. I mean, she's going to have this cash flow supporting her and my dad as long as they need it. They're not ever going to run out of their retirement funds. And it's a very, very part-time gig for her. She has property management. She doesn't have to do a lot with it. So it's really cool.
Yeah. Now, Angela wouldn't tell you guys this, but I'm going to tell you because if she can't stop me, I'm in another state. Angela graduated really, really young from college. How young, Angela?
Yeah, I didn't get into that. I knew you'd bring it up.
I know. So just go ahead and tell everybody you graduated.
Yeah, I started college at 14 out in California, graduated at 18, which has given me a lot more. I'm not sure I'd recommend it to anyone out there if you're thinking about it. I'm not sure it's really good for you to go to college at 14. But it definitely allowed me a lot more career experience, for the age that I am. I've done quite a few different things. So
yeah, Angela's a powerhouse. So I won't embarrass her anymore, but
thank you. Appreciate it.
But she's got an incredible business background before we met, and what we've been able to do together in the business is and I've watched what she's been able to add to the business has just been incredible. So.
Well, thank you, Ron.
As we start to talk about the business stuff and the internal workings of business, Angela is going to be, she's going to be helping me out quite a bit because a lot of that stuff I don't know as well as she does.
We'll get into more of the business background later on, right?
But, so anyway, real estate.
So, go ahead.
I mean, you've got tons of real estate experience as well, and not the least of which is this company that we've built, right? Which is So watching my mom get into that, that is why I was in a pretty awesome job when I found Ron on Craigslist. I don't know why. I can't be the only person that just would browse Craigslist jobs randomly. I mean, right? It was back when Craigslist
was a thing back then. Okay. Yeah. I'm aging myself. Okay. But I was working as a pharmaceutical rep, and I was, making a pretty good living. When I came across Ron on Craigslist, he was looking for a personal assistant or executive assistant, and I took a ginormous pay cut to start working with Ron because that's how much I believe in real estate investing, and I really wanted to learn more about it and about the business. So that's kind of how I started with Ron.
Yes, I mean it's kind of funny that your mom started with Rich Dad Education because it wasn't the first book that I read. The first real estate book that I read was Rich Dad's Guide to Investing. You guys have that in common. But hats off to Robert Kiyosaki.
Thank you, Robert.
As I'm out there talking to people, he has started more real estate entrepreneurs than I think nearly anyone else. It's incredible what that man has done. So
he really has. So Ron, that's a good segue. Why don't you tell us how you got started in it? You have a great story.
Yeah, so I got laid off or fired or impacted or whatever you want to call it from a pretty high paying job in sales myself. And I had a young family and I didn't have any money because I was spent everything I made like every salesperson out there does. And the crazy thing is I'd been reading this book and I came across an ad in an online paper, which dates me even more than you on Craigslist.
Yeah, a little.
It was the whole Millionaire Seeks Apprentice. I actually thought it was a job. I really thought it was a job. That's how naive I was. It really wasn't. It was a big sales pitch for his class. But I went to this seminar, paid money to go to this seminar. I think it was like $2,500, and it was a really good seminar. It was really well done. And at the end of it, like when you get his training, then he was going to split the deals with you 50-50. He was going to fund them. You go find them, do all the work and split it 50-50, which I thought was a fantastic deal since I had no money. And turns out he didn't do that. And once I figured that out, when I found my first deal and they turned it down, I just took the stuff that he taught me how to do, and I decided to just go try it on my own. And I put that particular deal that they turned down, I made just under 20 grand on that deal, just under 30 days.
Nice.
And, yeah, that was almost a couple decades ago, and I never looked back. And then, my business we rehabbed houses for a number of years. And then I got into rental kind of by accident because it's a long story, but the Kansas City market, I couldn't do HUD homes anymore. So we couldn't sell through HUD. And because of that, I got saddled with a whole bunch of properties I couldn't sell. And so I became a landlord overnight, which was fantastic. But then I realized,
bad thing that ever happened.
Yeah. I mean, the cash flow it's a pretty cool gig if you got enough of it. So then I realized that there were a lot of people out there looking for cash flow deals. And so I started a company with a partner, and we sold rental properties for years, all the way through the crash. And then I struck out on my own, and I say I'm on my own. We struck out.
We struck out on our own.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. And did it all over again. Right. So.
Yeah. So you noticed, sorry to interrupt you, but you saw a need in the market when you started that company, right? I mean, at the time there wasn't anyone
who wanted to do it, right? But they didn't have the time because they worked. And no matter how many classes they went to that told them they could do it in 5 hours a week, it just wasn't possible. So what I did was I took the infrastructure that I already had, and I just added some more people to it, right? I just said, well, there's more deals than I can buy. Why don't I offer them to these other people? And that's what we did. So we made it so that hardworking people and professionals out there can invest in real estate, and they can do it with almost no time. They can do it while they're working, and we put them together with management companies and everything they need to make this thing happen. And I started doing that in 2005. So
right.
Wait a minute.
Yep. And from what I've seen, you and my mom, people like you are pretty rare. People that actually, go to a seminar, read a book, and then are able to implement it in their lives. So it's cool that, your company helps people do that, right? Bridging the gap between education and implementation. So
yeah, I think there's a pretty big need for that. I mean, as good as the education is out there, as good as some of the coaching companies out there are, the reality is that no matter how good they are or bad they are, that people just don't do it. They just don't have, they either don't have the drive, they don't have the time, whatever it is, they just don't do it. Right. So only about 2 to 3% actually go out there and do it and become successful doing it. So it's a very small number for the millions and millions and millions of dollars that are spent on education every year in that particular, in the real estate world. Right. Right.
Definitely. Well, that's actually a great segue into, the next topic that we want to discuss on our next show, which is talking about your success. Who's responsible for your success, and how to really accept responsibility for that. And that's what we're going to talk about on the next show.
So if you've listened to this and you're thinking to yourself, well, why would I want to listen to the rest of these? Angela, let's give them some reasons why they might want to continue to listen. Here's what we plan on doing, right? The whole get real part of this is everything that's good about real estate, everybody already tells you, but we're going to tell you the bad as well. We're going to tell you the same thing with business. Like, what are the actual struggles that business owners have? And I don't care what business you're in. What struggles do business owners have? What is it that's the difference between successful business owners and non-successful business owners, or successful real estate investors and people who aren't successful in real estate? What are the things in real estate that you really need to be successful? And what are the things that people, I mean, I'll give you one right now. I mean, we laugh about this at our office, but we have people literally who buy properties and income is supposed to come into their bank account, right, every single month, and they don't look at their bank account.
Yeah.
I mean,
that seems like a no-brainer, right?
I mean, right? I mean, so, and then they'll call us like 8 months later. They'll be like, "Hey, I haven't gotten any money for 8 months." I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's the property management company's been reaching out to you for 8 months, and your tenant left 8 months ago.
You just noticed, huh? Yeah.
You actually got to turn the property over." I mean, we laugh about that, but that's so not funny, man. You just,
it's not.
How in the world do you get to the point where you don't check your bank account? It's super easy to do, and everybody's listening now is going, well, of course.
Of course, yeah. But there's a million things like that. Everyone has their own blind spots. Right. So hopefully we're going to talk about a lot of them, and, at least some of them will ring true with you. Be like, oh yeah, that's true. I do that.
Eventually we'll have some guests probably on, and we'll talk to them a little bit about success. Because I've been in the industry a long time. You and I, we know a lot of people that can help people out, and would love to come on and share with the audience. So I hope everybody sticks with us. Through the show.
And we definitely want to talk about what you guys want to hear about. So we are open to any suggestions you may have. If you'd like to go, if you'd like to subscribe to our podcast and give us suggestions on future topics you'd like to hear about, you can visit getrealestatesuccess.com. That's getrealestatesuccess.com. And you can subscribe there and get on our list if you want to, and also give us suggestions. So we hope to hear from you.
Yeah, I mean, we want this to be your show, right? So tell us what you want to hear. There's a wealth of knowledge that we can bring to the table, and we want to make sure that we're giving you what you want.
Yep. Definitely. Well, thanks for listening, and we hope we see you on the next show. Thanks, awesome. Ron.
Thanks, Angela. Talk to you.
This has been the Get Real Podcast. To subscribe and for more information, including a list of all episodes, go to getrealestatesuccess.com.